Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Monday, beautiful people. It's October 21st, 2024. I almost said 21. Don't know why I almost said that. I guess maybe because of the 21st. October 2021. That was a strange season of time for me. Very weird. Wouldn't want to go back to it at this point. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, such is not the case at this moment. I'm actually feeling quite great, inspired, enthusiastic, excited. I just had an amazing download for some creative, professional inspiration. And it was just one of those aha moments that just makes everything make sense. You know, like that one piece of the puzzle you're missing, and it's like, oh, perfect. Now I see the full picture. So, yeah, I'm kind of running off of that high right now, but in any event, that's a personal note, but I thought I'd share. Maybe that energy could transfer to you in some inspirational way. I sure hope so, for the highest good of all, of course. And I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend and you're already starting the week off strong. Enjoying the fall. It's a bit of a roller coaster ride in terms of weather here on the West Coast. No, the East Coast, the Northeast to be exact. It's been amazing weather all weekend long, and today was nice, and it's supposed to be like pretty mild the next couple of days, and it's going to dip back down, and then it's going to go back up, and then it's going to dip back down. So literally a little roller coaster, but still good, like still mild and pleasant fall vibes that I'm enjoying right now. You know, the weather kind of sets the tone for your mood, or maybe your mood sets the tone for the weather. I don't know. Maybe there's some correlation there, but so far so good is all I'm saying. So I hope the same for you. No matter what the weather, of course, that it's sunny in your heart and cloudless, clear skies in your mind, and rainbows in your spirit. But yeah, powerful week to you. So let's see what we got here. Queen of Swords, okay. Somebody quite decisive, objective, assured. I heard telepathic. I don't always pick that up with the Queen of Swords at face value, but I definitely heard it, so I'll say it. Yes, very confident in her decision making and her choices. Also honest and upright. Oh, we got the Knight of Cups. Is the Knight coming or going? Whoa. Wow. I think they're going. Yep, they're going. Everything's headed in that direction. Wow, and then the High Priestess. What's going on here? All right, well, it looks like the Queen of Swords may have banished an offer. You know, that's why I was saying, is this somebody coming or going? Now, the thing is, if even if the Knight of Cups would have been coming behind the Queen of Cups, it's like it would have been almost like a sneak attack or a sneak up, you know, like trying to catch somebody off guard, or maybe enter into their blind spot. And here we got the High Priestess, who ain't no blind spot as far as the High Priestess is concerned. She sees the invisible. Oh snap, I hear that. Who's that? Is that the Clark sisters? The sky is the limit to what I can have. But I'm really hearing the part, I'm looking for a miracle. I serve the impossible. I see the invisible. I feel the intangible. I always messed up those words, even though my auntie used to have us singing that around the piano since I was a kid, but I always mixed up the words, even as an adult. But I literally heard the part where they say, I see the invisible. I heard the music after I said that. So there could be something. What I zeroed in on was something miraculous to occur, or that has occurred, or is impending. But like I said, with the High Priestess in the mix, that's, and what did I say, but telepathic. That's even hearing the inaudible, or seeing the invisible, seeing what, having foresight for something that hasn't yet occurred. So anyway, to that point on the board, it could be that even if this Knight of Cups meant to approach in the Queen of Swords blind spot, or make an offer, you know, maybe to appeal to her in a sentimental way, I would say, that was either rejected, or I would say maybe even blocked before it even had a chance to present itself. It's like already knowing what it is. I literally see like somebody about to come to somebody with an offer, and the person you're about to offer to, like, you hear them saying like, and I know he better not come over here with no cups, but like you're not in the presence yet. It's like you hear this at a distance, or maybe outside the door, or maybe you hear it from some, you know, third party or secondary source. I don't know, but I'm literally seeing like somebody making their way, and it's like as soon as they hear the impending reception or lack thereof, so it feels, the Queen of Swords like, I don't want no cups. I ain't interested in nobody coming over here whispering sweet nothings, telling me a sad sob story. I don't want to be flattered. I don't want to be seduced. I'm good, you know? And it's like, oh shoot, well, that's all I had in my cup. Everything she just said. So they gotta just turn around, and you know, it's like something got deaded before it I don't even know, like before it even made it to its destination. That's kind of funny. Like, damn, Everything is like somebody read the energy of the offer before it was even presented to them. So this person never even had the chance to try to finesse the situation or to try to pull one over or seduce, or, you know, like they never had the chance because it was already kind of decreed out loud that, like, I see you and I'm not falling for it. That's the energy I'm feeling. So somebody literally had no choice but to kind of be on their merry little way. What's the Six of Swords, though? That's the energy that's kind of throwing me for a loop, because what were they? Let me see what's under the High Priestess. Whoa, Five of Swords. Interesting. See what I'm saying, though? This was behind the High Priestess, like the secret or the hidden motive. That, like I said, Queen of Swords was already armed, guarded, and ready for, like, yeah, it looks like a cup what you carrying, but I know you really got a sword behind your back. Or two or three in this case. And she was already armed and protected for the finesse, which put it in, yeah, which blocked it and stopped it. It's like somebody had to, I guess, go back to the drawing board, or at least, so, you know, that what might have been the intention. Like, damn, I gotta go change my approach. And that's why I don't know about the Six of Swords, because this is a woman and a child in that boat, and this energy is like behind them, steering the way. Now, at face value, it's cool. It's actually a good energy to have. But is this somebody still like I said, trying to change their approach? They couldn't get off what they wanted to, which would have been something a bit more sneaky and conniving. But this is somebody that could still be trying to still sneak their way into, I don't know, if something feels sneaky about this Six of Swords. Like somebody's trying to sneak past the guard to get a safe passageway on this boat. This boat feels like a bit of an escape. Oh. Somebody either is trying to escape some demise, perhaps, or narrowly did escape it. But I don't know. Let me see. We're going to go backwards because I want to know what's here on this Six of Swords. What's the Six of Swords about? Because when we starting it off with sneaky behavior, yeah, look at this. The Four of Swords. That feels like somebody trying to narrow, like maybe they didn't. Let's see what's on the bottom. Pardon me, the Strength. Or maybe somebody tried to escape their fate in a very sneaky way, but is now recovering or needing to recover. Look at this, Seven of Swords. It's something probably still connected to this Queen of Swords energy. I'm just trying to bridge the connection a little bit because it feels disjointed. It's like where someone couldn't get their foot in the door, in the front door, they tried to get in the back way, but it doesn't look like that worked out very well for someone. Yeah, like literally somebody trying to get in through the back door, like sneak in or steal something or whatever they were trying to get to or help themselves to on this end. They said, all right, well, I'll change my approach. I'll figure out another way to get to it. But that other way doesn't seem like it was very, it's like, so this could be like the Queen of Swords energy, like, yeah, no, I'm already banished it. And where they thought they had the angle to approach again from some blind spot or some secret passageway, so to speak, there was a blockade here as well. It was like a force field that it feels like kind of put somebody out with the Four of Swords. Like somebody thought they were on this boat making their way, you know, like a stowaway. And they became a castaway. That's what it's given. It's like their energy got sniffed out where they were probably, you know, like I said, kind of stealing away at first. And they probably were like, all right, we good. Just got to keep quiet, keep real still. And I'm going to make it across this water in this boat that they don't have no right to be on, with passengers that did not invite them, may not even have known they were there. And then suddenly they were discovered to be an intruder of some sorts or something. And now here they are at the Four of Swords, and we got the Seven, so a lot of swords. So 4, that's 3, so that's like the heartbreak card. I'm seeing so many weird things that I don't even know how to speak on it. Because this line is given like somebody literally got scared to death. Or they got scared into like shock or something like that. I don't know how. Maybe once they got caught or once they... So this might be real mystical. Because this could have been someone trying to finesse their way into someone's, remember I said telepathy, and I don't always pick that up for the Queen of Swords. So this could have been someone trying to project emotionally onto a Queen of Swords energy that's quite stabilized energetically, at least in the mental capacity. So they were already off in their approach, which is why it didn't work anyway. That's why I was saying it was like she already saw that coming, was already prepared for it, because that's not her soft spot, not in this stance with the Queen of Swords. She's not emotionally driven, she's logically driven. So where someone thought that they might be able to come send projections of maybe love vibrations or flattery or whatever, like it could even have been of a negative capacity to the Queen of Swords, like it just wasn't piercing through. It was being just like chopped before it even could effectively launch. And so with this death card, again, that's like somebody pivoting, changing directions drastically to try to infiltrate. I would say, so again, that it's like somebody's like, okay, so you all mental, so let me come at you like this. Maybe coming at someone from from psychic attacks, like projecting. I would say the opposite of the strength card would be some terms of insecurity. So hauling hella psychic attacks towards someone to try to ultimately like lower their defenses or pierce their shield, to and very subtly, and even I would say like this guy is, I said something weird and sneaky was happening here. This could even be like somebody talking about someone, like maybe if it's not even directly to them, this could be someone spinning a narrative, starting a rumor, creating a gossip mill or some type of like storyline to defame someone's character, perhaps because even still with the Queen of Swords, it's not really a lot you can say to her objectively that's going to pierce through unless it's the truth. And this is a liar. The Seven of Swords is definitely a liar. Even the Five of Swords has those tendencies as well, and the motivation or the energy behind it is usually like jealousy or competition of some sort, or just desperately wanting to clinch a win for whatever reason. So where they felt like they may have lost out in this engagement here, like, oh, she ain't trying to hear that, okay, well, I got another way. But what they got met with here was still, I guess, a strength that they weren't prepared to engage, because it's like whatever they tried to do here to backdoor someone into some depreciated state of esteem, whether it be by their reputation, their character, whatever it was, probably literally try to assassinate somebody's character with lies and manipulation. It must have backfired. That's probably the moral of the story, that what they thought they were doing, it probably backfired. And that's why they're flat on their back at the Four of Swords. And it must have been a major backfire. Whatever the either the resistance or resolve in favor of the intended target was so strong that it created a backfire, or the lies were weak. Maybe that's the disparity between the Four of Swords and the Strength, is that the story itself just didn't really hold weight. So it actually made somebody look ridiculous. Like, that's the only thing I can, it's more than face value here. It's something, it's weird, but let's keep going. Let's keep going. So, it's like all the defenses were too strong for someone to withstand, because the initial approach was null and void. The backdoor approach of them trying to kind of sneak their way, throw rocks, hide their hands type of thing, probably didn't really work on, effectively, because it just didn't. And then the residual effect of the backfire, all of those things combined, is what pretty much has somebody kind of laid out, like maybe just kind of tapped out and out of options at this time, because they've kind of exhausted, literally, Four of Swords is like exhaustion, mental exhaustion, if nothing else. They've exhausted so many possibilities to be corruptive, that they don't really have any, any more tricks in the bag. They pulled out all the stops. King of Pentacles. Damn, under the Death card though. Somebody could have taken a loss financially on account of this. Let's see. And the Hierophant. They may have gotten, they either have gotten fired, taken a loss, their stability and their reputation and their prestige has taken a hit. Because like I said, on account of whatever it is that they were trying to do, it just really backfired to make them look like a culprit. Whatever they were trying to project, it kind of became a reflective image onto them, which ultimately has either transformed or deeply impacted, maybe even ended someone's position of power, prosperity, prestige. I mean, the King of Pentacles and the Hierophant, that literally could be someone losing a position of power, losing a job, or losing respect, losing some type of honor or dignity or something like that. What's on the bottom? Yeah, look at this, 9 of Swords. Yep. And the Hierophant could be an organization, again, like it could be a boss. It could be someone being demoted, or fired, or reprimanded in a public way that's extremely embarrassing. If this is a job situation, it could be someone that tried to defame someone else's qualifications or their expertise with the Queen of Swords, their knowledge, their capability to do something or fulfill a role or position or something like that, and they did a lot to try to make someone look incompetent, or unqualified or something like that. And again, all the things apply, where it could even be somebody that tried to snuggle up to someone, play the friendly coworker role, and the Queen of Swords just was all business, so they couldn't really schmooze or brown nose their way into someone's auric field that way. So they did it another sneaky way, like I said, started a rumor mill or started some type of storyline, or maybe even created some type of sabotage effect with the 7 of Swords to almost frame someone to look incompetent or to look guilty of something, maybe, because the Hierophant is a judge. Either way, whatever the goal and ambition was here, it has failed miserably. And not only has someone lost the position or the respect that they had, I don't know. It feels to me that somebody lost a great deal more than what they were gambling for, is what I'm trying to say. Whatever they were thinking to get out of this whole thing, they completely lost a grip on that, and they actually lost what they had secured. It's kind of like the dog with the bone type of thing. The dog looking into the water with a bone in his mouth and but he wants that bone. And so he releases the bone he has to try to get that bone, not realizing that, you know, it was his reflection type of energy. It's some effect like that where somebody, they were just greedy or over ambitious or something. Maybe just couldn't stand another dog having a bone. They thought it was bigger than theirs was bigger, even though it was the same thing or something like that. And what they gambled for ultimately cost them a great deal more. Or that somebody could be in a position, I mean, this could even be jail with the Nine of Swords, or somebody's in a position to be facing some type of scrutiny, or like say somebody at home the day before, or the day the shit hit the fan. Like today's Monday, so say somebody had a really tough Monday and shit hit the fan today, and now they pretty much got home to sit and think about it. Maybe they didn't find out their fate today, but here's the anxiety worrying about what it's going to amount to. Am I going to get fired? Am I going to get demoted, suspended? Or how can I face people at the job? How can I face the Queen of Swords now that she knows I tried to destroy her? And, you know, like all of these other things are coming up in someone's psyche now, you know, that, like I said, the shit's hitting the fan, or has hit the fan. But certainly it wasn't a thought beforehand. Whatever it is that they were motivated to do was in that Five of Swords energy. Like all they wanted to do was win, to secure some type of win. All right, let's see here. I just heard I rest my case. So if this was some type of legal matter, or is to become one, impending legal matter with the Hierophant here, somebody's defense was strong. Whatever it was that they were being accused of or framed for, or, you know, set up to be guilty of, that's the difference here with the Four of Swords. And the Strength is like the case that was built up was weak compared to someone's defense or alibi, or their character witnesses, like people that could really vouch for who they really are, how they really work, their true performance, you know, even receipts perhaps on the job, you know, or in whatever capacity this is operative, spoke more highly of that person than what someone was trying to produce as a narrative. And again, also backfired and now makes them look bad, because it's like, well, if none of this is true, then what is true of a person that would create this, you know, this narrative, this storyline? Is very curious, to say the least. Yeah, look at this with the Moon card. So here, okay, under the Knight of Cups, we had the Two of Cups. So that goes back to what I was saying, where someone was looking to forge some connection, some deal, maybe probably really just trying, like I said, trying to get someone to trust them. Yeah, like build trust or establish some type of rapport, you know, kind of get close. But with the Moon card, to me, that's an implication of some sinister motives and intentions, something secretive, something obscure, definitely not of the light, or there would be no need for distortion with the Moon card. It'd be the sun, you know, or the star, something a bit more, well, maybe not the star, maybe, but at least the sun, something more more transparent or even translucent. But the moon, in this case, with all that I've said, and even how it's covering his half of the deal, there's some secret advantage that someone was after here that they never quite really got to establish, which we've already established. But it's because with the Two of Cups, that's an implication of a very equal and balanced partnership, something fair. And the moon is definitely covering him up, is indicating that it was never an upright offer or proposition or motive to even be connected. And it was only going to be beneficial on one side. That was the only intention. Even how the card is kind of covering her cup a little bit here at the Two of Cups. It's like somebody wanted all of theirs, but to try to kind of get yours too, if they could. Like take some of what you got, maybe if not all of what you got. So it could even be like if this is a professional setting or some creative setting, it could be, but now that the moon is back, I'm gonna tap into, and also the Hierophant, there is definitely evidence for more of the mystical vibes that I was getting into. But to practicalize it as I tried to do, if this is like a professional setting, it could be someone that would want to like take all your ideas and repurpose them as theirs. But they're not going to give you credit for it. If they can even get around, if they could get away with branding it as their own altogether, they absolutely would. If it's possible to do that, or they might maybe give you partial credit or something like that. So that would be somebody's motives to get close to you, to kind of see, like pick your brain, see what your vision is, where your mind is, like what your plans are, so that they could try to poach them in some way, shape, or form. And again, either so-called borrow, some of that energy to infuse with their own, or altogether just steal it and claim it for themselves, like plagiarize it or something like that. But that never really became a viable source because of how guarded and defensive the Queen of Swords, well, just probably just really objective, like I said, all business. But that could even be a lawyer, the Queen of Swords, like somebody that's just very protective maybe of their intellectual property. Okay. So mystically speaking, as I said before, someone trying to send projections to kind of glean from your auric field, maybe poach ideas, poach, whatever your visions, like I said, whatever projected manifestations or creations you have in the queue. This was somebody trying to get through, even mystically trying to get through in a very, what's the right word? Almost presenting themselves as a friendly energy, like cozy up, schmoozing into your auric field as a non-threat to try to get information, like, sending loving vibes or friendly vibes or, seductive vibes, whatever the case may be, but trying to pull from your energy, thinking that it wouldn't be protected or you wouldn't be so on guard in that way if it doesn't feel like an attack, even though it absolutely is. Because if you're forging your way into someone's auric field, it's absolutely an attack. You don't have jurisdiction to do that. It's all illegal. It always has been, but it's definitely, that's why it's probably this immediate backlash or backfire here, because I keep saying that the karmic retribution has advanced from eventually to immediately. So where people used to be able to play these mystical games under moon cycles, we just had a full moon, so this could be somebody crashing out from their full moon rituals and so on and so forth. You could have done that before to see gradual results, or maybe to hold back any impending repercussions or retribution. But it's not that delayed reaction anymore, which is why literally somebody's going from the Knight of Cups straight into the damn Death card. And like I said, they may have narrowly escaped death. I don't know how. They found some escape route, but it's still eventually caught up to them in the Four of Swords, where they may not be completely expired, but they're definitely disabled, you know, energetically, if not physically. Like somebody wants to keep on fucking around, and they're gonna keep on finding out until there's nothing else to find out but the afterlife, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much. But anyway, somebody trying to poach energy, intellectual property, ideas, creativity, manifestations, like trying to literally fill their cup with whatever they can. When they couldn't do it through the front door, they tried to go through the back door. We said, you know where that led. But again, it's for the purposes of somebody trying to sustain some type of platform or prosperity. It's like they're needing this resource to funnel from for their own sustenance. And that's why ultimately that foundation is debilitated and dilapidating, because it's not sustainable that way anymore. If it's not authentic, if the co-collaboration isn't authentic, if the advancement isn't authentic, if the property, intellectual or otherwise, isn't authentic, it's not going to be sustainable. It's not lasting. And this is almost like a judgment that's being enacted against someone's inauthenticity. And that's the cause for worry and anxiety, because now that they have no viable resource to tap into, someone's either pretty much, first of all, someone's on their own to literally create from their own authenticity, which obviously is a challenge if they're going through all this trouble, and somebody is in trouble. And in this case, it might be more than just a boss in a practical sense. This might be divine trouble that someone's in, you know, having to answer for their spiritual infractions, especially if we're talking about mystically projecting themselves into spaces that they don't have the liberty or have an invitation to. Oh my God. I literally just said this is a judgment. Well, I don't need to beat that down. This is definitely somebody meeting their fate for some infractions. So it's not just a matter of being caught. It's like now somebody has to face their sentencing or their fate or the verdict. Which again, from that Nine of Swords, could be just, you know, somebody not knowing what it's going to be, what extent of punishment they may be facing at this point, especially if it's coming from the spiritual aspect and the natural aspect of justice. You don't know if you're going to lose everything materially as the King of Pentacles, your whole livelihood on account of you lying and spying and scrying. Or if you're going to, or if you're going to lose some type of favor with the divine. And that's a whole nother layer of retribution that has to be paid. I keep saying y'all gonna stop playing with these moons and these celestial bodies for your own personal benefit and for, you know, for ulterior motives. Here's the Fool card. Let's see what's with the Fool. Oh man. And the Empress. Yeah, somebody tried the wrong one. They looking like a court jester out here. That's what it's looking like that. And when I saw the Fool, I was like, this can't be good energy. It's not like new beginnings, you know, pack light, you're going on a journey, new discovery, adventure. It ain't that. It literally might be someone, they going on a new adventure, all right, because they're being banished from their life, or the life as they knew it. So it's like somebody has no choice but to start over, to get a new job, to find new associates, you know, because this doesn't have to be limited to a professional. Obviously, if I'm talking about mystically, but it certainly isn't limited in a practical sense to it being like a work environment or a professional setting. This could be amongst friends, you know, it could be family with the, yeah, it could be family. It could be any matter of relational dynamics, casual, professional, intimate, whatever, that have been distorted in some form or another by someone with malintentions is what I'm getting to. You know, like the Queen of Swords is just being the Queen of Swords, more or less in the most positive vibe, living in her own truth. Maybe showing up to work every day, putting her best foot forward, you know, really taking her position seriously, responsibly, doing whatever it is that's required of her, honorably so. And it's just like working with a knucklehead, you know what I mean? Like that just, if anything, they could be intimidated by an energy such as that because they rather goof off and cut corners and waste the company's money all day. So to sit next to someone that's actually taking their job seriously and actually knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about, you know, produces positive results, successful results, that pretty much makes them have to live up to a standard of productivity that they really just don't want to live up to. They haven't had to for some time, perhaps, or they've been able to kind of, you know, finesse the system, fly under the radar, do the bare minimum, do, you know, or glean from other unsuspecting employees or associates and things of that nature to substitute, not substitute, but like to supplement their incompetencies pretty much. But now to deal with someone that they actually either have to measure up to, or at least they think so, you know, that they feel some competition with, that feels threatening. You know, God forbid they actually just be inspired to perform at their best as well. No. So this was somebody that tried as hard as they could to either get somebody cast out or incriminated, defamed, tarnished, assassinated. Take that how it resonates, but I was really thinking more of character than anything, but hey. Eliminated, fired, just somebody just to be completely out of the way so they could get back to business as usual. And not only did that not happen, but now they are finding themselves being purged out of the way, which was probably the last thing that they had intended. And now look, the Empress, so I just, not only that, let's add another insult to injury. The Queen of Swords has been promoted. Now she's the Empress. Maybe it was even a competition for a certain spot, a coveted spot, and somebody clearly outshined. This could even, how it go, the patriarch, the matriarch, generally speaking, this competition that's been more or less projected to us to perpetuate, that's not even really real at the core, but somebody feeling like, no, I'm the man, I deserve, I'm entitled, I should be the heads, the CEO, the grandmaster, the head man in charge, the headmaster, whatever this coveted position of power, influence, and authority is like where one person was just being the expression of those, was just expressing those ideal qualifications and characteristics naturally. Honestly, someone else was trying to more or less fabricate it, and in their fear of being overshadowed, they tried to eliminate their competition. But then, of course, not only did that fail, but then they put themselves out of the runnings to be considered at all. So now that's why somebody's afraid of losing position or power, because now someone's not even being highly considered for the position that they're in, or any elevated or promotional position, because they've shown their true colors and they've shown an incapacity to lead. Look at the Fool card. That's what they've shown themselves to look like in whatever environment or whatever circumstance this is. They've made themselves look like a fool. Lover's card and Ten of Pentacles. Damn, no wonder somebody is feeling some type of way, because this is what was on the line here, or what is on the line. But maybe this promotion or this elevation, there's a great deal of, increase that comes along with it, as well as I said, this is kind of solidifying promotion. So not only this is like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how to express this, because I was just, when I said that the Queen of Swords has been promoted to the Empress, this is a whole nother layer of promotion here with the Lover's card. But what it also speaks to is what I said, that someone had to choose to exemplify this qualification first. Like, this is about choice here and aspiration. So this is someone, again, when nobody's looking, they're working hard. They're not just looking like they're being productive when the boss is in the office, or when the camera is on, or when they're out in public. This is somebody that all day 24/7 is operating in a frequency of truth and integrity, because they choose to, because it matters to them on a personal level to ascribe to that frequency. And because of that is why someone may be as successful as they are, first and foremost, and second, the reason why they're up for the promotion and prosperity upgrades in their life that they are, because this isn't just signified on a material level, of course, as none of this was. As you know, I kept flipping back from more of a spiritual, energetic expression to a practical and physical one. It's all of that. You can't be one way in the office and amongst friends and then something completely different behind closed doors. At some point in time, those two personas are going to clash, or something's going to expose the other, or whatever the true nature of you is going to be more pronounced. So if you are authentic through and through, no matter what the expression is, which leads me to something that I wasn't going to touch on, but I will real quick since it's come up. If you're authentic through and through, and whomever you profess yourself to be, whatever you profess yourself to do, and whatever you desire to have, that's how the universe and your surrounding force field can reward you and can materialize for you. That's the reflective co-creativity that is not one-sided. It's very much a two of cups situation. So whatever you're feeding it is whatever is given back to you. So again, this is a stark comparison between someone living in authentically 24/7 and someone always trying to finesse what they feel is going to afford them the best opportunity and the most gratifying return. Meanwhile, actually being something quite different than what they profess and what they pronounce, physically and spiritually. But it was for the purpose of this favor and this reward and these spoils here, this great fortune, this, again, favor here with the Lover's card, something just very lucky about this energy here. Is very prosperous, but you have to be prosperous in spirit to have that materialization and for it to be sustainable and without strings and entanglements attached, because that's just as much poverty as it is anything when it comes in that form. So what I was going to say is I contemplated talking about this at the beginning of the message, but I didn't want that energy to filter through. So it's funny that I'm going to back it up on the back end. But my message on Friday was really, really strange, right? And I had even, when I listened back to it today, I had even jotted down some notes. Like, I think I need to go back and just reiterate some things, because it was very heavily centered on this dynamic between dark and light, even angels and demons, right? But when I watched it back, I saw a more practical, what's the right word? I don't know, like expression, so to speak. That's not the word I'm looking for. Ideal, maybe. About just people, the dark and the light as it was expressing itself. All of what I said is still what it is. Take it how it resonates, even though it was strange. It was strange for me too. Maybe that's something more, in my higher mind, that I'm seeing as a more macro projection than it is more intimate and even practical. But what I saw that I didn't really circle into until the end of that message, and then I touched on it in the caption, was more the practical expression about persecution of polarities. So when I was speaking of dark and light, angels and demons, I was speaking from the projection of someone that sees their taboo expressions as something that is evil. And that's why they have a hard time accepting that aspect of themselves, or that expression of themselves wholeheartedly, and living in another facade or falsehood, because to them, to be one way or the other is, one is more palatable than the other. But the side that they consider based off of projections to be more palatable is, at least at this point, the side that they don't resonate as honestly with. How they're projecting themselves through that light, so to speak, is false. And that's the real point of persecution. It's not someone's desires, as taboo or unconventional as they may be. It's someone trying to live through the lie of the light that the divine is no longer tolerant of. You'd be better off expressing who you are, professing who you are blatantly, with no inhibition and with no shame or guilt, even amidst conventional, projections of persecution, than you would be to live in the lie of what you think is acceptable and palatable, at this time. That's the part that will get you in trouble, because what I was sensing is someone that's trying to live through a lie, really kind of have their cake and eat it too in both worlds, because they want to do what they want to do in the so-called dark, which more so was just in secret, is how it was really being expressed, even through my very judgmental language of the two energies. What it was really coming through as someone trying to live a secret life, but trying to live a public persona that they think is more beneficial, that they feel they gain more rewards and, more benefits and more opportunistic in that realm than what they really truly do feel an affinity for. And in this case, primitively speaking, it could be someone struggling with the truth of their sexuality or their sexual preference. And because all their life, they've grown up feeling or being conditioned that more or less is a sin, or just something that's just not as openly acceptable or conventional. They've grown up feeling that way, but the nature of their desires is to want to live that way. So they try to force themselves or forge themselves into the light aspect of their persona, which is more facade than anything, more made up, and end up hurting people in that light that are innocent to their secrets, because they're not willing to live their truth. That's most of what I was picking up. And that's what's, coming up here in a roundabout way that made me feel like, okay, maybe I really do need to say something. So the biggest takeaway of it all was not so much to force yourself in your spiritual or physical being into some funnel of like a command, or demand on your desires or how you act out of them. Is more so about just being honest with yourself first and foremost, but certainly honest enough in a way where whatever you do, whether it's in the dark, behind closed doors, in secret, on Friday nights, Saturday afternoons, whatever it is of which you generally don't want somebody to see, first of all, you might need to figure out why that is, or why you feel like you need to hide yourself from yourself. That's number one, but that's between you and the divine. But number two, just make sure that it's not infringing on someone else's truth in the light, where someone that may really prefer to be in a same-sex relationship is actually parading around to be heterosexual and carrying on relationships with individuals that don't know that that's what they prefer. And so now they're at risk, if not physically, just even emotionally, to be investing their energy and time into something that's really, a dead end or just empty, not a two of cups. So I don't know why. At first I didn't feel like, I'm looking at my notes to make sure now that I said enough of what I needed to say. Yeah, I was saying that the truth, the light and the dark was basically the truth and the lie of life. And in all of that angelic and demonic talk that I spoke of figuratively, which still stands, mind you, is more so about how someone is seeing those aspects within themselves and even outside of themselves that is making the deepest impression on how they act out of them. And that's across the board, which is why in the end of it all, I kind of came to the conclusion that it really is a matter of, finding yourself to in balance between, where is the strength card? Here it is. Yeah, between your spirit and your flesh, because they both need to be served and they both need to be satisfied. You can't forsake one for the other or ignore one for the other. You get to find the balance and harmony between the two and live out that truth in a way that is not harmful, hopefully not even to yourself, but certainly not to anyone else. That's where the true persecution lies in terms of the light and the dark and good and evil and all that type of stuff. It's more in how you impact and impress your energy on others than it even is on yourself. But of course, you're accountable for that experience as well. So in any event, it really just comes down to people just living honestly and living in integrity, no matter what they feel the collective response or so-called condemnation may be. Anything that could arise in that frequency is between you, your supreme self, and the source that you submit to, if any at all. That's the only chain of command that really matters, as long as you're not hurting anyone else. When you start to project that despair onto other people, unjustifiably, unlawfully, as someone did here, maybe they're in their wrong field and they're not operating in their, in their purpose and in their true, their true calling. Otherwise, it wouldn't be such a chore for them to naturally produce and prosper. But you don't try to infringe on someone else's productivity and advancement because you don't want to be shown up or left behind, or you know what I mean? Like, come on. And then that's when you get yourself in trouble legally, spiritually, and naturally, because you're stepping in a territory that you just have no jurisdiction in. That's going to get you in trouble instantly these days. So anyway, this is attainable for anyone that is willing to aspire to it, to ultimately do the work, as we say, but more on a spiritual level, as it implies here with the Lover's card, loving yourself, accepting yourself, aspiring to the best authentically, than it does anything else. Certainly not forging it materially or even physically. It's the inside. And I know I'm preaching to the choir for who I'm talking to mainly, but it just, I guess, will always be worth saying, to, if nothing else, to reaffirm and assure you that if you're already operating in that frequency, you good. You got it. This is for the people in the back, perhaps, that just still haven't quite gotten it. No matter how many times they get laid out and cast away, he may still try to get back up and try it again. Like, that's not the type of persistence and, determination that the divine is really looking for. We need to transfer that energy into something far more productive than keeping somebody else held back. Because there's certainly enough room and rewards and victory and spoils and advancement. There's enough space for all of us. There really is. Anything contrary to that concept is is an illusion and a projection of a force that really just wants to take up as much space as it possibly can and share as little as it can get away with. So we ain't aligning with that agenda. No way, no how. So anyway, yeah, hell of a Monday. Thanks for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.